Welcome to DMM Downloads. We are podcasting another conversation about DMM between Jeff Crabtree and me, Rudy Rivera. Jeff and I are teamed together in Northern Colorado in a ministry we call DMM NOCO. DMM NOCO is unleashing disciple-making movements in Northern Colorado, and we thought it a good idea to start a podcast as a way to bring awareness and resourcing to ordinary people who are passionate about making multiplying disciple makers in our natural networks. Thanks for joining us in this journey. We hope you get a DMM download from this conversation. Well, hey, Jeff.
Rudy, 2026, my friend.
2026. And we've been starting our podcast that same way. Maybe 2026 will have a different...
Well, maybe needed. Yeah, our listeners are probably saying, can they do something different?
We'll
be thinking, listeners, we're going to find a new way maybe to say hello to each other.
Yeah, maybe not. We'll see. Well, it actually kind of fits in today's episode. Really. Oh, my goodness. But, okay, so...
We get into rituals, don't we?
Exactly, rituals. We fall into the rituals. Raise your hand if you sit in the same seat or pew.
At church.
At church, really. Do you?
No, because...
Oh, look at you.
Well, I used to sit in the same seat until I went up and preached. I was a senior pastor, and I'm an associate, and I'm just usually walking around.
So you don't sit, and if you
we have two services, so one I don't. Second I do, I sit with my wife, but no, we don't sit in the same seat.
There you go. Look at you. Breaking ritual.
You bet.
On
and
the
that's
weekly.
Maybe what we're going to talk about today. It's pretty scary to break ritual.
It is. And that's what we're talking about today. So 2026, we've been saying this, but Jeff's been reading this book or article or something. He hasn't shared it with me yet. He will, I'm sure. But he's been reading it, and I keep responding off microphone. Jeff, that thing is rocking us. And so we're here, want to discuss this idea again. And I think it has to do with systems and ecosystem. And specifically, we want to talk about when relationship moved to ritual, how basically the system, the machine, if you will, has taken over, and we somehow lost maybe some of what the intention of church has been. So, Jeff, as always, do something good with that.
Yeah, the book, and I said on the last podcast, I stumbled on it in December. It's called The System or the Ecosystem. Mm-hmm. And this little section that I read to you a little while ago that we decided we'd kind of unpack on the podcast is from life form to machine, how ritual replaced relationship. Mm-hmm. And so here's what the author says. Again, we're not saying that we're even endorsing the author. Don't know the author. I don't know a lot about him, so I'm not endorsing that. What we're doing is reading some of what he said. There could be pushback. We're going to unpack it. We're going to explore it. Mm-hmm. But he says the earliest believers had no rituals. Mm-hmm. Now, I think I would say they eventually did, but...
And I think the Sabbath, personally.
Yeah, so that's where I would push back a little bit, but let's read it and see what we can glean from this, because I think there is some merit to what he's trying to say and how that interfaces with us trying to more optimize Christian faith in Western culture, Western church. Mm-hmm. He said they had relationships that produced transformation, conviction, joy, repentance, miracles, unity, generosity, boldness, and awe. There were no pulpits, titles, sacraments, priests, worship leaders, Sunday performers, stage lights, budgets, or membership rolls. There was Jesus and there was each other. But machines can be built, at least initially, faster than organisms can grow. So no patience and prayer and authenticity are required. Just enthusiasm, cleverness, marketing, music, and decor. He said, I had a mega pastor point out to me as we walked into his superstructure that they'd even picked out the lobby paint colors to ride the wave and vibe of being a magnet for people. Like flypaper, they won't leave. An amazing paint color it truly was. Organizations, systems, machines feel much safer. Machines can be controlled. And so Christianity traded one another daily life for weekly attendance. The machine looked organized. It looked holy. It had all the parts, sort of. What's wrong with prayer and prayer meetings on a schedule? What's wrong with hearing another wonderful message from the Word from our pastor? What's so wrong with having a worship service? He goes on to say, what is so wrong with kissing my wife primarily on a schedule at 6:15 p.m. every day? It's still a kiss, right? What's the big deal? It looks safe and structured, but a machine, no matter how well engineered, is not alive. Something like with a scheduled kiss is missing. A system is not an ecosystem. So we just started talking a little bit about that. So what are your thoughts when you hear that?
Wow, there's a lot there, first of all. Yeah, I think the idea of ritual, this was my first thought I shared with you, that the idea of ritual, unpacking that, and my mind went to the Sabbath. What was it? The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. And so this gift of God that we, generally speaking here in the West, I think we've turned into Sunday morning, and we've essentially said Sunday church service is our Sabbath. And maybe you go home and take a nap or something. But the idea of like a communal space, time, length to it, life on life, I don't think that is how I would normally describe, the average Sunday for me in my lifetime. Like the best part of Sunday was always like going to lunch afterwards with your friends, And it was good. Actually, I'd say that was great. I've always felt like, oh man, like we're alive here and we're having a good time. So yeah, I don't know. That's what comes to mind. I don't know if that makes any sense, but ritual, that I think of Sabbath, that I think the Sabbath was made for us. It's a gift from God. It's rhythmic, but it's meant to be life-giving and help the people. And I think we've somehow lost some of that. And I do think the idea of machine, as somebody who's pastored local churches, I would definitely not use that word. I wouldn't have used that word.
Sure.
But I would say I felt the effects of the word.
Sure. It's good.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Like I remember saying out loud to my setup team, because I was almost always in a migrant church. We rented space. We had to tear it down, set up, tear down, set up. And I remember saying multiple times in my lifetime, if I ever have to do this again, I'm ready to be done, God. That's like machine talk, right? Like the machine is driving me to my death.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so what do you say?
Well, off of what you just said, I think I said on one of the podcasts, and you've heard it from me, that before I pivoted to disciple making movement world, I told you that I could do ministry in my sleep. That didn't sound spirit-led, relational, flexible, growth. It was like I could operate the machine. I knew how to create the meeting. I knew how to pull all the parts together so that Sunday morning program looked good, operated well, inspired the people that they could come back. And so we're looking at the ecosystem is a whole different reality. It really is relational, more community. And I think I said something in the last podcast to you, Rudy, that a lot of what I did as a pastor was counsel. And I'm just thinking about it as we're talking about it. So somebody in the church would probably not want to be seen coming in the door on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday because it wasn't church time, kind of incognito to come in and to get counsel from the pastor. But I look back and we're not trying to, again, criticize too much. We are trying to evaluate or ask some hard questions. Is most of those people who had sin issues, and if we could call it that, and brokenness and marriage problems, whatever, they weren't really in authentic community. And so the machine was go to the pastor who's supposed to have the answers. He'll meet with you. He'll give you the spiritual biblical answer, and then everything's going to be okay. Sometimes it was better. Sometimes it wasn't. Sometimes it was worse. But again, what I'm trying to say in this is that I don't know that we had the organism, the family, the community that could help walk people through that. I think in my own life, and I've told you this, I'm at a unique place, almost 67 here, and I think I've missed an element of authentic Christianity because all I've known, been a part of, if I can say it without offending, I've been a part of this machine. I led this machine. I operated the machine. I performed the machine. And yet, that part of real life on life, living out one another ministry, so the world will know we're his disciples by the way we exhibit loving each other. They can see that. I'm not sure I experienced that. And I don't think I'm abnormal. I mean, I'm an American, and I've been in the traditional Christian world for a long time. So I just think there's something we can explore.
Yeah, there's so many things I could say here. But I think one thought I'd have is DMM, I think what I'm finding as I'm learning, trying to learn, I think DMM, the idea of natural networks, I think helps keep, I think it helps kind of keep it in the neighborhood of ecosystem.
Right. A bit more organic and ecosystem.
Yeah, rather than program it, systematize it. So extract me out of my ecosystem, put me in like a test tube.
Attend an event.
Yep. Do life there, but you're in a petri dish. You're in a lab. I hate to say that, but you're right. And then you get sent back into your ecosystem, and it's like, I don't know. There's something about that I think DMM offers a different way to look at church. More, I think, a little bit more in an ecosystem mindset.
Yeah, and not everybody's going to like that or be comfortable with that. More house church, home church, missional church. But it may not be whether you really like it or not. It's what does it produce? Or what can it produce maybe differently than what attending church on Sunday morning can produce? And what really is the heart of God? What's biblical? What was the model? I still now of the belief that some of isolation, depression, anxiety, divorce, a variety of things, maladies that we deal with, might be better addressed, solved in these smaller places where we're really living out the faith more organically, regularly, than just an attending church, Sunday morning, small group program. We're just asking again. Maybe not. Maybe so.
I'll say, and I'd love for you to close this out here in a minute, but I think for me, I think most church leaders know that in America, because that's part of why we, I'm going to use a different phrase here, we optimize the system by developing small groups. Now, I know you're in a, I think, a fairly unique situation where you're an evangelical church, non denominational church that doesn't have small groups, but I don't know many of them. I think most church leaders understand the system, the machine doesn't produce the relationships to the level needed or required to see life transformation. So we optimize the system. We don't change the system. We don't get rid of the machine. We say we want the machine to run, but we add on components to the machine to optimize it so that we can try to get different results. And I think you and I are questioning whether the results are there, but I think that's kind of the general pattern. And we kind of hearkening back to other podcast episodes, but I think we're good at systems as Americans. And so, we kind of see one that works and we go, okay, well, let's all franchise that idea, And that's one of the reasons why, for the most part, a church service in America, whether you're in northern Colorado or Texas or Illinois, looks pretty much the same.
Sure.
I think because we're pretty good at optimizing the system. But I would just say, as somebody who's led those systems, I think they slowly erode the humanity involved, or at least the machine operators. We're like, well, when's the break coming? And the whistle never blows. It's just.
Well, I got paid to run the machine.
Yeah, exactly.
As a senior pastor.
Yeah. Well, close this out, bro.
Yeah, I'll close you out with this. I was thinking you're talking. I have a 38-year-old son, so that gives a little age bracket. But and he attends church regularly. He serves at church. He's a volunteer at church. But over the years, again, getting a little older, a little more mature, he said, "Dad, there's got to be something more. Is there something more?" And I think, again, in light of the machine, people are saying there's got to be something more than what the machine is offering us. And I think what's happened for me and you and many others is that we see this whole theological understanding and the practice of disciple-making movements. We believe it provides something more. And that more is what we think may be described in the Bible, in how Jesus hung out with his disciples, which means apprentices, and how Paul described it. And so we just think that maybe even this discussion of machine or system versus ecosystem, we think that that the system or the machine is limited, and we think that maybe the ecosystem might have more, and that's how God designed it and designed us. So we put that out early in the year for people to ponder.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Jeff. That's a really helpful thought. Thanks, Jeff, for that engaging download. In DMM, we like to say that disciples are learners. I know I'm learning a lot from my conversations with you, Jeff. From all of us in DMM NOCO, we hope you got a DMM download from the conversation today. Don't forget to leave this podcast a review wherever you are listening online. If you found this conversation helpful, please head over to our site, dmmnoco.com, where you can find more content for your DMM journey, including a self-paced Habits of a Multiplying Disciple course. The course is designed to give you practical next steps to becoming a DMM practitioner and multiplying disciple maker. You can take that course for free at dmmnoco.com. We will be back next week with another engaging DMM download episode. Until then, may you hear from God through His Spirit and take simple steps of obedience in what you hear.